Thank you again for your time today. You're an actor. What point in your career? It looks like you started advocacy around 2022, and you are a part of the Representis advocacy group. Tell us, why did you decide to get into this?
Well, the truth is, I've always been quite politically engaged, and I grew up in a politically active family in Atlanta, Georgia, and fans of mine will know that my first big break in show business was actually on The Daily Show with Jon Stewart, which of course is satirical political coverage, and that was a dream job for me because it really mashed up my two passions of comedy and politics and journalism, which I'm so in awe of the whole profession of journalism, and I think it's such a amazing, beautiful thing. So kudos to you as well. But I think really, oh, and I also want to make the point, Represent Us is an organization that I'm very active with. I'm actually on the board, but that is a nonpartisan organization. And that's really more just about making sure that our democracy is functioning at its best and kind of trying to get rid of some of the baked in ways that our democracy is unfortunately legally corrupt, like gerrymandering and dark money and so forth. So that's a sort of separate thing for my advocacy. I think in the last few years, I've just started to feel like it really was a visceral sort of gut thing where I just was feeling like, one side is feeling kind of dark and gloomy, and of course during 2016 to 2020 there was just a lot of anxiety and chaos and this feeling that we were just unstable. We were on unstable ground as a country. Political divisions were deepening and calcifying. And now we have this opportunity to really move things in what feels like a hopeful direction of civility and generosity. And really, Governor Walz last night was talking so much about reaching out and helping our neighbors, and these natural disasters that keep happening, whether they're wildfires out here in the west or hurricanes out in the east. I have a lot of I'm close to a lot of people in Western North Carolina right now. It's absolutely heartbreaking what's going on there. Please help out if you can. But neighbors help out neighbors. We all help each other out. It doesn't, that's when political divisions really fall to the side. And it's part of what's so beautiful about the ethos, I think, of this country, is we're there for each other. And so it just was feeling like one side was pushing us apart from each other. And here we have this ticket right now with Harris-Walz that feels like it really wants to bring us together and push us together and really help us look out for each other. And that feels incredibly important.
Now, what are some of the specific policy issues that you're concerned about right now? Also, what are some of the policy issues that you see with Harris-Walz that you're really on board with?
I think it boils down to abortion access is a big one. Um, and then I really have to sort of I just think as far as a policy goes, it's how do we keep our democracy healthy? Like, what do we, what is one side is just constantly questioning the process, trying to tear down election norms, and another, the Harris-Walz side is really trying to just keep things on track and keep us functioning smoothly. And it feels like that is an area that I really believe in and that I want to stay on board with.
Certainly, Trump and MAGA have done a lot of unprecedented things that, including the so-called insurrection. But is there anything on the Democratic side, since you do work for a nonprofit or nonpartisan organization, that you're seeing that might be improved in terms of democracy? Something like, oh, I don't know, open primaries.
Yeah, love open primaries. Let's do it. I think that and ranked choice voting. are two things that will push our candidates towards the middle. It makes both of those processes make our candidates answerable to the entire electorate, which right now, we have this with our closed primary system. So few people actually nominate the candidates, and it's really just the most intense and extreme parts of a political party that have the strongest voice, and that's unfortunate. So, open primaries, ranked choice voting, which is on the ballot right now in Nevada. Vote yes on question 3. Bring ranked choice voting to Nevada. It's a game changer. And I encourage you to go to represent.us and educate yourself on exactly what ranked choice voting is. Unfortunately, there's a lot of disinformation out there and a lot of people trying to make it sound confusing or like you're not smart enough to actually understand this. And it's not that hard. It is actually quite an elegant and simple system that makes for an electoral outcome that better reflects what the electorate wants, and it allows voters not to choose the lesser of two evils. You rank your votes instead of just picking the one that feels like the least worst.
Just a couple more questions here. Thank you very much, Ed. Um, this is a pretty basic one, but how are you using your celebrity to leverage the issues you care about, and what's it been like on the trail this time around, and what do you have ahead of you?
So I'm incredibly lucky to have a bit of a platform as a recognizable actor. I don't expect everyone to to love what I have to say or to want to listen to me, but I'm going to say what I think and I feel, and I hope I reach some people. And and that's sort of the best I can do, and wanting to be a part of this process. And I would just encourage everyone to do that in their own circles, to reach out to the people that they know in their communities, in their families, and just let their voices be heard. And honestly, uh, I'm a big believer in nonpartisan causes and pushing collaboration. And so, whatever you want to believe, whoever you want to vote for, engage in dialogue with people who disagree with you. Try to find opposing ideas just to challenge yourself and make sure you're actually your convictions hold water. Because sometimes we just grab onto things because they feel good or they sound good or it's a good soundbite, or even because we just think that person is appealing. We'll just sign up with them because they seem exciting. But get into the ideas and challenge yourself, and um, make sure your convictions are hold water.
I think your work at the Daily Show maybe got overshadowed by the enormous success of The Office and Hangover. But an excellent show. I remember some of your segments; they're very funny. Um, you could be doing anything practically, but why do you feel drawn to politics? The energy last night, the feeling like there's purpose involved with that energy. Give us a little insight into why you feel drawn to politics.
So I grew up in Atlanta, Georgia, and I grew up in a very politically engaged family. My dad was a Georgia Democrat, which is very much a minority political disposition in Georgia. Um, but we grew up around a lot of different political ideas and a lot of so many people in my family and in my community kind of had different views than my parents, and that was seen as a good thing, that I think everyone appreciated each other. We're now in this moment where it feels like if you have a different political opinion, you're bad or you're evil. And we're hearing words like evil. And that is heartbreaking and so cynical and unnecessary. Um, I think that having grown up in a political family, I just always had an interest in it, and uh, I've always been engaged. I've always sort of taken part in it. Recently, in the last few months, it's just felt like this election day is right in front of us. We got to ramp up, and I just want to kind of get out there in front of it even more as much as I can. And so here I am, and I'll be fighting the good fight right up until election day.
All right, and we'll be watching you on the campaign trail. I did see a segment of you on Behind the Bastards. I love that podcast. It's hilarious. So we'll see you around. I know you're doing great work. Ed Helms, thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Josh.